Welcome back to the RAG podcast as I, Sean Anderson, the CEO and founder of Hoxo Media, bring to you season 3 of the recruitment agency growth show that I started about 18, 19 months ago now. You may have noticed I've had a couple of weeks off after spending a little bit of downtime at the end of such an intense period of daily episodes in lockdown. And now I'm excited to be back with the show. The show is going to change. It's going to be a slight evolution of what you're used to. We are going to keep the RAG report, which is going to be a brand new show all about marketing, brand, social media content, and technology in our space. But the RAG podcast is going to stay as a once a week show where I interview recruitment owners and tell their story. Now, telling their story of business growth will be part of it, but this season we're going to get more personal. I want to get under the bonnet of the human side of running a recruitment business and what's the reality of the shit we all have to deal with in order to try and be successful in this world that we now face. Today, for the first episode of season 3, I was delighted and excited to be joined by Lee Glynn. Lee is the CEO and founder of Reliable Healthcare Group, a specialist healthcare recruitment company with about 15 staff across the UK, delivering into NHS, private practice, and residential home care. Now, Lee is a guy that I've known through LinkedIn, through social media for a couple of years, and I only met him once at the recruitment agency expo earlier this year. But he's a super well dressed character who is quite consistent with his videos on LinkedIn, and his content is all around mental health. Lee talks a lot about anxiety, depression, and how he's fighting that whilst also running a recruitment company, being an entrepreneur. And so to kick this season off all about the human side of running a recruitment business, I felt like Lee would be an amazing guest. In this episode, I learned so much that I didn't know about Lee's upbringing, growing up with a single parent, his mother, being bullied at school, suffering with severe asthma, and then trying to take his own life at 17 whilst in his first year or so of recruitment. This guy has been through a lot and is very open today about his anxiety and depression and how he's dealing with a constant battle in his own head on a daily basis. He said he has two monkeys, one's positive, one's negative, that are talking to him. But at the same time, he's trying to fight it, and he's positive, and he's a role model for so many, and he's got a lot going on, and he's got a great team, and he's got a really strong business. So we talked all about Lee's upbringing, how he got into recruitment, why he started a business, how he keeps himself in check, how he is the best version of himself for his children and his employees. But at the same time, we talked about some of the downsides, some of the pressure points and things that do get to him. I'm hoping this is going to resonate with a lot of us that we might not be in intense lockdown in the UK right now, but we are still in a form of lockdown. COVID-19 hasn't gone anywhere. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I've personally had some real mental struggles recently with everything that's going on. So it felt like a bit of therapy for me to talk to Lee, to be honest. And he's amazing. He's a good listener as well as a talker. So I really hope you enjoy this show. Now, before I get into the episode, I want to introduce our first sponsor today, which is Rise Recruitment Ventures. Rise, as you know from my previous, if you're a listener, are one of our clients who are specifically a recruitment investment business. These guys have built and sold recruitment companies in the past. They sold liquid personnel and made over 20 million in 2016 from the sale of that business. Throughout the lockdown period, these guys have spent their time effectively helping current entrepreneurs of small to medium-sized recruitment companies and speaking to people that were planning to leave their businesses this year to start their own. These guys are offering not only free advice, but they do have an arm where they can offer capital and expertise to build world-class recruitment businesses that are set for scale and exit. So they're not in this for, to create lifestyle businesses. They want to help businesses grow for an exit. So if you like the thought of that, if you're an early stage recruitment owner or a soon-to-be recruitment owner, and you think that capital and expertise to support your growth would help you exit the business in the future for some financial gain, then I would reach out to these guys via www.riserv.co.uk. Back to the episode with Lee. Without further ado, Lee, welcome to the RAG podcast.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thanks for having me.
No worries, about time.
I know it's been a good few years where I've been following your podcast, and I was like, I want to get on that one.
Yeah, well, I think we spoke in January or February about you being on, and then it's just for some reason we never got it done. But we're finally there. Lee, I've done you an intro there, mate, but I'd always prefer that you do it justice. So can you, for the benefit of all the listeners who don't know you, can you just tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. Hi everyone, my name's Lee Glynn. I'm the founder and group CEO of Reliable Healthcare Group. My day-to-day life is managing a few businesses and being a sort of a keynote speaker and mentor regarding mental health in a workplace. And I also am a mentor for Virgin Startup young entrepreneurs. So my days are quite busy, but I enjoy it very much.
You're also the best dressed guy on LinkedIn.
I wouldn't go that far. I've lost quite a lot of weight, and I know cameras add 10 pounds, but I thought I was 39 at the end of June, and I said I need to get in shape again.
Wow.
So I've been running about 6-7K on average a day.
It works, doesn't it?
It does, and I feel better for myself as well. My mindset is better as well, but I feel if I don't run, I feel like I've cheated on myself if I don't go for a run.
Well, I just, I actually, my PT, I had a PT for the last 12, so about 12 months ago, I started getting back into shape. I was never out of shape, but I say that I was when looking back, fucking hell. But you kind of just drift into a habit, don't you? And last summer I got married. I was moving house. I was running a business. Cheers, mate. I was doing all sorts. And then I looked at myself. I was like, ooh. But then I got into this habit of going to the gym a couple of times a week. Had a PT. Played with my food loads. And I didn't really change much. I got into better. I was a bit more muscly, if you like. No, I've never been like a muscly guy. So anyone who doesn't know me, you're not imagining like Arnie. You're just, for me, a bit better. But then lockdown
You'll always be back.
But lockdown came, and I started doing this thing called 75 Hard, which I'm not going to go into detail because I've mentioned it loads. But basically, for 75 days, I didn't drink alcohol. I trained twice a day for 45 minutes. I ate no takeaways. And I stripped about 6.5 kilos.
Wow.
And now leaving that, I've had a couple of beers here and there. I eat a bit more I've had a couple of takeaways, but my habits now, I'm doing 15 to 20 minutes of yoga every morning without fail. And then I'm walking the dog like 2-3 times a day, and I'm going for a run most days. Again, 6-7. I did the half marathon for Odro last week, and I feel like, I can't believe I did all them weights for so long, but I neglected just going for a run.
Yeah.
Fuck me. It's free. Even in the pissing rain, it feels good. And you look better. Like it's
a sense of achievement, isn't it? A lot of people go, oh, I can't run because it's boring. Yeah, sometimes it is boring and your mind does wander and you think about lots of things. But when you get to the end of that run, you're thinking, wow, I've completed it, where I could have just been sitting on the sofa 40 minutes watching reruns of Only Fools and Horses, even though I love that program. But do you know what I mean? You sit there and go, right, if I get up now, I could be back in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's having that mindset and that get up and go to go and do it. And you feel great about yourself. And
do you know what you just said there, though? The key thing you just said was actually, it is about the mindset. It's about the fact that even when you're doing weights, you're checking your phone, you're chatting to someone. When you so many activities, you can't really think. You're always doing stuff. Whereas when you're running, you've got to deal with your own thoughts. Like it's you against your brain, isn't it? Like
should I stop running? Should I stop running? No, get to the next point. And I use Strava. And when I first started running, I was doing 5:40 a k a minute. I've got it down to 4:20.
Oh, so, mate, I'm nowhere near you then. My fast pace is about 5:50. So,
but that's still good timing. That is still good time. But it's about the accomplishment. Yeah. I don't think individually it's about what you want to set as your goal. Your goal is going to be totally different to everyone else's. As long as you achieve your goal, then don't worry about what other people are getting up to.
Nah. Well, look, I love that. So let's go back a bit. So you've got loads of stuff going on. You own Reliable Healthcare Group, recruitment business. You also, I've seen on LinkedIn, have you got an education rec as well?
Well, we're diversified now because obviously of COVID-19.
Tough
So
time.
volcanic rec to rec. So we specialise in recruitment companies, not just education now. So anything from finance, healthcare, IT, education. I set it up just before COVID hit.
Yeah.
It's been all right, it's been good. But as you know, there's plenty of very good people out there at the moment that are looking for jobs. And there's a lot of companies out there that will just go and use and go direct off of LinkedIn, which, I've got no issues with that, no problems, because I do exactly the same thing. So, yeah, it's just we're taking it nice and slow with that one. We don't want to push it and ram it down clients' throats because they know they can go and get it free, which is the objective anywhere else.
If you've got the time and the effort, and of course you should be able to, but most people have got other things to do. Tell us a bit more about Reliable Healthcare. Like what's the business looking like, and how are you shaping up in lockdown?
Yeah, so Reliable Healthcare Group, I set it up in 2017, December 2017. So only 2.5 years young. Take away 4 or 5 months in lockdown. And about 6 months set up. We only had a really good core about 1.5 years of actual trading. But within that 2.5 years, we've become one of the leading suppliers in Scotland.
Right.
And we have multiple tier 1 and sole exclusivity contracts with major services within private hospital groups, the NHS, supported living and residential and care. So we're up to around about 15 people now.
Great.
Our headquarters is based in Brentwood, Essex, but we're looking to open little offices in Scotland and the Southwest and the Midlands, so we can sort of attract the best talent and the best workers locally, which will give our clients the opportunity to have that local worker come in for them rather than someone coming away from 4 hours.
Have you found this period to be busier then in this? Because I imagine healthcare has had a boom.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I might be playing devil's advocate here, but all my family, all my friends actually saying, wow, you must be like minted. Yeah. I'm like, no. First of all, we don't charge our clients stupid rates. My motto is we can help them reduce their agency spend by 20%. And I'm all about helping clients reduce their spend rather than going, yeah, we can service you, but this is going to be our rate, and this is our rate. We're not going to move on that. So the model is we would always help them reduce their spend whilst maintaining a very high level of quality of compliant workers. But with the COVID at the moment, going to your question, no, it's been busy in troughs, but a lot of residential care homes and hospitals have had that fear factor that agency workers work at multiple sites, so they feel that they might have caught something from that site and passed it on. Right. But there's testing that we've done, but it doesn't work, in my opinion, testing, because my worker can go and get tested today, get the results and say they're clear from COVID, tomorrow catch it and not know they've got it. So I think testing is just to say, look, we've done it, and the government to say, look, we have put it out there for people, but you can catch it the next day and not realise you have it and walk around thinking you're free from it. So we've maintained our clients, we've maintained their workload. It could be busier, but like everyone, as I said to you earlier, everyone is in the same boat. Apart from bakeries and supermarkets where they are actually flying. I think Warburton turned over an increase in 70% in March, April for the 2 months for their last year. Each to their own. But no, we're surviving.
A quick interruption of the episode to bring to you a message from our second sponsor, which is Odro. Odro, as most of you probably know, is the world's most powerful all-in-one video interview platform for recruiters. Used by thousands of recruiters worldwide and with some of the industry's biggest names amongst its client base, Odro is a video interview platform. It was developed specifically to help agencies increase their revenues. The most innovative solution on the market, Odro's software helps recruiters to engage more talent, reduce time to hire, and most importantly, it helps you win business. You'll even get the ROI back from investing in Odro within just 45 days. It's designed to benefit everyone in the process. So from recruiters to clients to candidates, Odro's platform is improving the hiring process one interview at a time. We chose to partner with Odro because we felt like both brands, Hoxo and Odro, were in such a clear alignment in the way that we approach everything we do and how passionate we are about helping this industry grow. If you want to find out more about how Odro can help your agency transform its process and win more business, win exclusivity and drive revenue, then click the link on the podcast notes and every social post that goes out, and you will get a call back by one of the Odro guys. They are awesome, and I'm sure they'll be able to offer some amazing value to your business. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to the show.
You hear some horror stories of businesses that have not made a single placement since the beginning of lockdown, recruitment companies.
Yeah.
And I feel for them all. But there are,
absolutely.
there are businesses that are surviving, and there's a lot that are thriving as well. Our sector's quite cool in a way that, from my perspective, looking holistically across the board, you by just talking to recruiters, I kind of, then how the other economic factors are going, because I know that certain industries are doing well because the recruitment companies are busy, whereas and there'll never be a blanket recruitment companies are dead, because there'll always be certain industries doing well, and there'll be always recruiters in that space. But I definitely had this vision that healthcare would be top of the tree. So interesting that.
A lot of hospitals close their wards, or if they've got COVID-19 in the wards, they're not allowed workers there, or they don't allow their own substantive staff to go and work agency. So like you said, someone's busy or someone's not. But it's whatever you make it. If you want to make it busy, you can make it busy.
What I wanted to talk about throughout this episode with you is mindset and how you maintain a positive mindset. I know you've had some challenges in the past. I want to find out more. And the one thing I always see from you, Lee, is a consistent positivity on LinkedIn, right? And you're always, even when you're being vulnerable, you're very positive in the vulnerability. I've never seen you put something out that's made me think, he's just dumping on people. You're always trying to pick people up, and I think that's brilliant. So let's go back. Can you tell us a bit more about your past and where your challenges started? What's actually gone on for you?
Yeah, of course. Well, I was brought up by my mother, along with my brother, single parent, until she met my stepdad when I was about 10, 11. My real dad wasn't around, sperm donor, which is known as. So it had a huge impact on me. Before I was born, my mum found out and kicked him out. So it did have an impact that I didn't have a father figure in my life. But obviously she met my stepdad, who's my dad now, classify him as my real dad, and he brought me up. But I think where I got bullied at school, because I had severe asthma, I missed half my school life with asthma. I was in an isolation tent as a kid, had a baby as well. My mum couldn't even hold me. It really had an effect. And when I got bullied at school because the drugs I was taking stunted my growth, and I was an easy target.
And if you're not there that often as well, you're not going to build those relationships like everyone else. So you're always playing second fiddle, aren't you?
No, absolutely, yeah, because you're missing out on so much. But I tried to make up for it with sport. I played, even though I had asthma, I was in the first team of the school with football, basketball, badminton and so forth. But I think it all came to a head when I was 14. My consultant doctor said, you've got to be on drugs for the rest of your life, steroids, to keep you strong. And I said, I can't do it no more. It's really getting to me. I can't do it no more. It's stunting my growth. I'm not going to have development. So I said, I'm going to stop. And she said, well, okay, you can stop, but you could die. And that was a risk I was going to take because I weren't happy. So I stopped at 14 taking my medication. Touch wood, I lost the asthma. Never had it again. Never taken a pump in my life since I was 14.
Wow.
I grew a little bit. I'm now 5'11". Got some hairs on my leg, and I grew in confidence. When I hit 17, 18, I started to grow with confidence. But I think when my mental health started, it was when I first got into recruitment. I'm not saying don't get into recruitment because you're going to suffer. I got into recruitment. My first recruitment job was in industrial recruitment. and was opposite the Ford's motor plant in Dagenham.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was just like, can I go over there and see if they want to use us? And they went, well, are you joking? They got a PSL. I went, oh, all right, what's that? I didn't know what a PSL was at the time. And I was only a 16-year-old lad wanting a bit of money while studying. So I said, I'm going to go over there. So I knocked on the door and I said, excuse me, can I speak to the hiring manager or someone in charge of agency? And they said, why do you want him? I said, well, I work across the road. It's an industrial recruitment agency. And I just want to talk to him how we can help. So he gave me 10 minutes of his time. And I said to him, the selling point was, how much does it cost you when an agency worker that you use doesn't turn up and you have to get a replacement from your current agency? He said, well, they can turn up 45 to an hour late. So that's going to cost us £1,000 in production time. So I said to him, what if I can get you a worker within 5 minutes to come over if someone doesn't turn up? He said, how are you going to do that? So I said, we can have a breakfast club, 6 in the morning, if your shift starts at 7. And if you need anyone, we're having them here waiting and they can just walk across. I walked out with 200 orders of production staff. So here I was walking back in with like, we've got a chance here. And one of the workers, a year later, one of the workers mucked up something and didn't get the workers in on time. And they put it on me. And I wasn't even there at the time. And I was like, why are you doing that to me? Why can't you just admit it? You know, I've got the contract, we're doing really well. Why are you trying to play blame game on me? And then my mental health started to deteriorate. And then that's when I tried to take my own life.
What, based on that scenario?
Based on, why? That question, why are they picking on me? I had flashbacks to being bullied back at school because I used to say to my mum, because of my asthma, am I going to die tonight? Am I going to wake up? So I had to go and see a psychiatrist about why am I asking my mum when I was a kid, am I going to die? I really had a fear of dying from my asthma. So everything just flashed back at me and I just thought, do you know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe it is me. Maybe I'm better off not being here. So I got some tablets. At the time they were powder capsules, so I put all the powder into the drink. I think there must have been about 20 of them, 25. Mixed it up, drunk it. My mum come in, and obviously I was out cold. And then obviously, long short of the story, I came around, went to hospital. The doctor said, just because you took the powder out and drank it, it spread around your body and it didn't conceal in one place. That's why you'll survive.
Wow.
And then ever since that, I've struggled with anxiety, depression. And yeah, I do put a picture on it. I do smile and I do say, don't hide behind the smile. Don't live behind jokes, be yourself. If you're feeling vulnerable, especially the males, because we need to be this alpha male, you need to talk about it. You need to take that first step. And I did, and it did help massively. But even though I've been in recruitment for 23 years, I still get anxiety going to a client meeting.
Really?
I still get anxiety interviewing someone to come and work for me. And I've stages of depression as well.
So how did you bounce back from that? So you're working for that agency. You've been hit with accusations that you think are unjust. You've gone extreme and thought, I want to get out of this. You've come back around. You must feel like, I've been given a second chance here because the doctor said I should be dead.
Yeah.
What did you do next to get back in track? And how did your career evolve?
I think it was my mum. I owe everything to my mum. She worked 3 jobs when I was a kid to keep us afloat. And I called my nanny my mum because I saw more of my nanny at school than I did my mum because she had 3 jobs. It was what she said to me. She said, Lee, no matter what you do in life, you can always talk to me, never be ashamed. And that resonated with me. And that was the point where I said, right, I am going to be open with you, mum. Anytime I'm going to feel down, I'm going to talk to you. And you're not going to judge me. And that was it. That the fear factor was being judged. And my mum said she would never, ever judge me. So then I started to open up. And I started to get a bit of sense in life. I was only 17 still. So, 17-year-old coming up to 18, I was like, what do I want in life now? I've done this and I've got a second chance. So I decided to finish my A-levels and go straight to work. I wanted to earn money. I just wanted to get my mind into it, learn the craft of recruitment, and build my way up in the career. I was lucky enough, I fell into a healthcare recruitment, learnt my trade, and then, you know, I got my confidence. I was talking to people, talking to my, you know, my colleagues with confidence, and they respected me. You know, they had, you know, that mutual understanding on what we're doing in work.
Mm-hmm.
We had, you know, we got on well, and I thought, you know what, this is what I want to do. I think I found my calling, and everyone says you fall into recruitment.
Yeah, you do.
You do in a way. You know, you don't stay in recruitment for 23 years if you don't love it. And I just got that bug where I wanted to help others find work and help clients, and that's the simple thing of recruitment. You want to help a candidate, you want to help a client. Simple as that. And I built it all the way through, and it just felt like I've got a calling to help other people now. And it was only like last 5 to 7 years I started being very open about who I am, where I've come from, and how I've dealt with my mental health. Because you see all these famous people like Robin Williams, you know, Heath Ledger, Linkin Park singer that taking their life, Amy Winehouse, taking their you know, Mike Facilities, taking their own life because whatever's going on behind closed doors, they didn't want to show it to the public. But I feel that you shouldn't be ashamed of what goes on in your personal life. If you're going to be judged by others and they're going to start commenting negative, then you don't need them in your life.
No.
And you are going to get that. You are going to get people that are going to talk negative about you. But so what? It's only gossip. It's only people having their opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Do you know what the challenge is, though? It's like, because I've been there, I've had a couple of experiences where really close people to me are going through things, and I'm in a situation now where I've got someone close to me who's going through some stuff, and I feel recently I've struggled with some stuff as well, and I don't know. It's like the hardest thing especially when you're talking to someone who you can see is suffering, and they're opening up to you. And your mum probably does this with you, or, you know, it's just like they can't, it's so hard. I'm not trained in this stuff, so I don't know what to say, but you can see the benefits and the simplicity of the problem. They just can't see it. You know, like your mum can look at you and go, you're a great looking recruiter who's making good money. You've got personality, you've got everything to live for. And you see in the mirror, this guy who's fucking failing, who's underperforming, who's, you know, you're seeing two different things.
Yeah.
So how
Absolutely.
the hell? And I don't know if you've been trained in this, because genuinely, it's just something I want to learn and want to understand more. How the fuck how do you see or get the person to start to see what's great about them that you can see so simply, so easily?
Yeah, I think it's, you've hit the nail on the head. I don't see that. Like when I put these videos on my YouTube channel about mental health, people comment and say, you look great. Like, you look smart, you're well dressed. That's got nothing to do with my mental health. So like, you're commenting on, oh, you look great, but you can't see what's going on here.
Yeah.
And I think it's when people keep telling you, you start believing, and you start feeling that everyone in this world can't be wrong. If you're approaching them, everyone can't be wrong. But sometimes it is an act. Like I play this character because when sometimes my confidence is so low, I go into this character like method acting, and I become Mr. Recruitment.
Mate, I can remember that. In recruitment, I remember one of my best mates who works with me in our rec to rec, Adam, worked for me at Venquist for 4 years, and he said to me not too long ago, he's like, you were just so fucking positive every day. Like, he's like, how did you keep that up? And I said to him, like, mate, I used to walk down the street to the office some days, like dying inside. Like I felt like shit. I was just like tired. I'm overworked. I'm stressed. Shit's going wrong elsewhere. But I would snap a finger as soon as I got out of the lift. I'd be like, whoa, and I used to do this thing where I used to say, I can hear deal music, and my team would be like, what? I'd be like, I can hear deal music today, and I'd be like, who's going to do the deal? And I would be this life that then they would buzz off, and
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes, I could just go back to my desk, and I'd already done what I needed to do.
Yeah.
But that drains you as well. It's so difficult to keep that up. And luckily,
it is, and it becomes a part of your routine. I have a number one rule that my staff can come to me with their problems, their personal life issues, because that's a part of the well-being.
Mm-hmm.
But I will never go to them with my problems. They can't see their leader being weak, because as soon as they see their leader being weak, even though it's okay to be weak, they can become weak too. And I want to keep them strong. So yeah, walking in the morning, right guys, yeah, deal music's going to go. You're going to get the first deal. Let's rock this up. Let's all stand up. Let's get it going. And then come into the office and cry.
Yeah.
Go, oh my God, this is crazy. I can't do this. But it's just a normality. And like I said,
what's going on in your head when you're feeling that anxiety, or you're not feeling good? What's the loop of conversation going through your head?
Do you know what? I've got two mind monkeys.
Right,
it's like good and evil.
Yeah.
They talk to me. They're right. You're gonna get over this today. You're gonna go into your office and you're gonna absolutely smash it. And there's another one saying, no, you're not. You're fucking shit. Like, you can't even walk out the street without sweating, without being nervous. So how are you going to go to work and smash it? How are you going to go and pick your people up and get them to make more money for you? You can't do it. But it's overcoming that. It's the mindset to say, okay, you're only in my head. You're not an actual thing. I'm human. I can control you two. I'll let the good one carry on talking, but I'm going to control the bad mind monkey, and I'm going to destroy you. Yeah, you might destroy him in that day, and next day it starts over again. But I tell you what, I feel bloody good when I do destroy him in that day and he disappears.
What you're saying is the loop is like, it's some part of your brain's telling you that you can't do what you need to do, and there's another part saying you can.
It's a bit like Groundhog Day.
Well, I find that, I'm reading a book, Mindfulness, and it talks about anxiety and depression, and depression is looking back and anxiety is looking forward, right? So
yeah.
Depression is the past playing, and I'm very guilty of not living in the present. I know that. I know I'm either thinking about what I've done and what I didn't do and how I should have done it better, or I'm already in next week, next year, next month, thinking, shit, well, you got to get there. How are we going to do it? And then you find yourself thinking, how am I even enjoying today? Like, I'm not even, I'm outside and the weather's great, and you're like, well, my brain is in next week. So it's like you're walking like a fucking zombie through life. Like, that's the truth, isn't it? It's like, and I've been trying to do some breathing techniques and just trying to stop myself regular points through the day and like just think, like, take in, look around, like listen to sounds, like try and just be in the room. And that, I think when you're an entrepreneur and you've got people and it's sales and there's numbers, I don't know, life's so fast paced. It's hard to just experience what's going on in that moment.
It is, yeah. I tell all my staff, I tell my clients that I work with, young entrepreneurs, you need to break your day up. If you're on the phone 12 hours a day, it's not good for you.
No.
Even though you want to make that sale and you want to make that money, it can be done. If you do less better, it can be done. So we've got a pool table here. The guys go and play pool outside their lunch hour. So if they're doing their work and they're like, right, 15 minutes or 10 minutes, let's have a quick game. They've forgot about work because they're concentrating on beating that person at pool, because that's how competitive they are. And then they come back to their desk and they will do more work in that next 10 minutes than they would have done in the next 20, 30 minutes if they didn't go and play. It's not all about old school recruitment now, where you're on the phones, KPIs, you've got to make 100 calls, 200 calls to get the business, because technology is evolved in a different way now. Like WhatsApp, a lot of people communicate by WhatsApp, Zoom, virtual meetings. So it's not about whipping, because I had that done to me back in the day, and I learned a lot of good things in this industry from my peers, my bosses, and I learned a lot of bad things. So I've thrown away the bad things, kept the good things that I've learned, and then implemented my my way of working.
A final interruption to today's episode to introduce our third sponsor, Vincere. Vincere is the all-in-one CRM ATS platform built for the recruitment and staffing industry. Now, I first heard about these guys about a year ago. The amount of prospect recruitment agencies and clients I was working with that were telling me they were moving over to Vincere, I had to look into it. And what I found was a business that had a global reach with multiple offices around the world. So they've got this follow the sun methodology, which allows them to support recruitment businesses wherever you are and be in your time zone. But the technology that they've invested in is becoming a disruptor in the space. More and more recruitment businesses are doing this to give their recruiters a competitive advantage. They broke into the G2 Crowd's Momentum Grid as a market leader based on their reviews from their customers. So the agencies that are using this platform are raving about it. Now, if you're a RAG listener and you're thinking about changing CRM, or you're a new business looking to launch with a new CRM, then I would get in touch with these guys, because if you mention that you're a RAG listener, they're doing an amazing deal. By visiting www.vincere.io/RAG, you can get an exclusive deal which offers 2 months completely free on a 2-year commitment, or 3 months completely free on a 3-year commitment. This applies to all licenses that you've either signed up for now or that you'll add in the duration of the contract. So get on there and have a look. Finally, if you're listening and you're a recruiter and you're thinking, I want to move into a more of a business development role, and I'd like to keep hold of my recruitment knowledge. Well, these guys are recruiting for a BD person, well, multiple roles in both Sydney and London right now. So if you've got a strong recruitment background, you want to move into BD and you want to work for a fast moving tech business that's helping people like you right now, then get in touch via their website, because they're hiring today. Back to the show.
So yeah, it's not all about you're here 9 till 5, you crack on, you don't get up from your desk, you stand up until you get a deal. It doesn't work like that, and that will cause their minds just to go, you know what, don't want to be here. No. So you need to create a happy environment.
So hard. It's so hard. We've had it as well. Like if you look at lockdown, my business has survived really well actually. Like we've worked our absolute bollocks off. We've kept our clients. If anything, I've had no time off. Like I've not had a day off. I've not had a day off since January, and I'm like, that's why the podcast has had a break, because I had to have mentally. I needed to fucking to work, drop something, right? But then you people, we've looked at it and said, look, the last 3 months, the agenda had to be business, say protection, and that was the number one agenda. But now, like the people agenda has to come back, because people are. If you carry on with that attitude, you're going to burn everyone out, and I know that as much as them. When did you, going back a bit, Lee? When did you decide you wanted to be a business owner?
I think I've always had that aspiration, but I've never had the knowledge as a young lad. If I went into business at 19, 20, I most would have failed. 21, 22 would have still failed, because I've been in this industry 23 years and I'm still learning. I'm still learning to this day, and I'll learn till I die. So I think it came to a head when I was at a company called TTM Healthcare. Absolutely wonderful company. I was a director there. Brian Crowley, ex-founder of TTM, was an absolutely amazing mentor, along with Barry Pactor. And then I got a taste of it because I was in that role. And they let me run with the business and said, right, take control of this site, of the UK site. And I thought, do you know what? I can do this. This is my dream now, to go and push it forward. And I thought, what can I call it? What can I call a name where I could be so fearful of being called something else? So then Reliable Healthcare Group come to me. I thought the fear in that is my clients and candidates calling me unreliable healthcare. So I went for it, because failure is what motivates me.
Really?
Every day. Apart from my children, failure motivates me every day, because I don't want to fail. So I wake up every morning knowing I'm not going to fail, and that motivates me.
But you say apart from your children, but surely failing on them is also driving you to be a better father, right?
Oh, absolutely. If I was successful in my suicide attempt, I wouldn't have my 2 beautiful girls. They are my world. This is what I do it for. And I know every father will say that. They do it for their children. But I honestly dote on my children. I work, I come into the office and I go home about 7, 8 o'clock. I spend time with them. They go to bed. I go for a run. I come home. after my run, flip my laptop on. And, you know, even if it's just sending messages on LinkedIn or trying to create network, that's still a part of your working life. And I don't stop like you. I don't stop, but sometimes you need to stop. You know, I went on my first holiday last year, and that was my first holiday for 5 years. And prior to that was, you know, holiday for 5 years. So I put my life on hold for my business, but I put it on hold for my children to give them the best upbringing I can. Because obviously my upbringing wasn't that good, not having a father there. But like I said, my mum was an amazing mother and father. But I don't want that for my children.
I believe that, you know, you're lucky if you get one good parent in life. I really do. When I was a school teacher for 3 years, and my mum was a similar story. My dad wasn't away, but he was in my life, but it was more like what's the word? It's more like an uncle type character, really.
Yeah.
He was good fun. Saw him on a Saturday, but he's still not. I think he'd be pretty honest now. Like, he's not the guy you run to if you've got a problem, right? But my mum was unbelievable. She was just like this rock solid character. And I didn't realize how powerful one parent can be until I worked in a school where I met kids that had none. So you know, these kids weren't orphans, but both their parents were just waste of time. Like, one lad turned up on a Friday morning. I remember it was the second lesson of the day, 10:15, rolls in, and I'm like, 10:15? And he goes, "Sorry, sir, I thought it was Saturday." And everyone cracked up, right? Including me. I thought it was quite a funny comment. Anyway, I was all right. I didn't want to put him under any pressure because I knew he had a tough background. I was like, all right, just get on with it. Anyway, at the end of the session, I spoke to him. I was like, "What do you mean you thought it was Saturday?" And he goes, "Well, I got up at pretty much normal time, and my dad made me a bacon sandwich. And I'm sat watching daytime TV with my dad, and I realised it was a different programme." And I'm like, what made me really sad was that his dad had sat there, not woke him up, made him a sandwich, and not one point said, "By the way, you should be at school." You know what? And he'd let this kid sit there, watch fucking Trisha or something, until the kid figures out it's the wrong
He's got
day.
to be at school.
And I'm like, oh my God, I felt sick after that. I felt sick. So, I mean, I've got no kids, but for me, the driver when I do will be 100% that. Like, you know, just you've got to be there, right? You got to, and
they cost a fortune as well. I've got a 12-year-old and coming up to a 5-year-old. The 12-year-old's like this. I want this. I want that. And she's like a little entrepreneur as well. She's got about 4 Instagram businesses. So like, I think one company's called Stickerberry. So It's like bespoke and handmade stickers. She draws it on the iPad. And it's absolutely amazing what she does.
She's making money out of it.
Yeah, she's making money. So she's paying rent at 12 years old.
Love that. Yeah. That is an entrepreneur in the making.
Absolutely.
So what's the future look like for you? If you're gonna prediction, like, where are you heading? What's the plan?
Hopefully win the lottery, Euro Millions.
Oh yeah.
I've not checked my ticket actually for Tuesday, so hopefully I might be sitting on a few bob. I think obviously the instant sort of future is Reliable Healthcare Group, to expand that, to make sure our existing clients are taken care of and our candidates are taken care of. Build the company to around 30 plus people internally.
Really?
And then obviously the frameworks are coming out. So hopefully we'll be awarded the frameworks. We'll open up the NHS for us even more. But you know, just to I know agencies say it, but just to help cut costs of agency spend, because it can be done, and recruitment agencies still have a very valued business. You don't need to make the £20 an hour margins to have a sustainable business. We can make £2 an hour, £3 an hour, and have longevity across 10, 15 years. And then hopefully, if we get on the frameworks, then franchise the name, and have multiple owners of their franchisees, so they can use our brand and use our contracts to facilitate even more hospitals, get more workers in, because we know how short staff the NHS is in at the moment. And then maybe 10 years to do a management buyout, an acquisition or sell, just to see where the market is actually. But yeah, for the next five years, it's just driving Reliable Healthcare Group to the next stage of development and growth.
And what's your plan? Like, how are you going to make sure you stay fit to do it? How are you going to stay mentally fit to do that?
I think carry on doing what I'm doing. I know my anxiety is never going to go. It's never going to go. It doesn't matter if it's on level 1 or level 10. It will never go.
What does it feel like? What does it actually feel like for you?
Shaking. I shake. I don't sweat like all coming down me, but I can feel myself getting hot.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in. I'm driving to work and I'm like, I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in. There's no way I want to go in. I can't get out of my car to walk up the stairs to the office. But then you've got to. You've got to do it. You're the leader of the company. You've got to do that.
How do you find like getting through basic tasks? Because I find that like when people, I've spoke to a lot of people about this, and when they're struggling with anxiety, like the most simple things, like just organising the morning, got to send this email, got to do it. Everything seems 10 times bigger and harder than it actually is. Do you find that as well?
Sometimes, if I don't do my plan of action the night before, I come in, I'm like, right, I know I've got to do that, but what was it I had to do? And then I'll start getting anxious. Right, I can't find it. Lee, calm down. It's there somewhere. So if I forget to do the plan of action, which happens, then I start having a go at myself. And I'm not sort of clinically diagnosed with OCD, but I suffer with OCD myself. I have to check everything 3 times. So light switches go on and off, on and off, on and off. I walk around the cooker going off, 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 off. Back door, lock. Everything 3 times. Even though I hate odd numbers, everything 3 times. Absolutely. But no, if you've got a plan, if you're organised, that will help your anxiety. But it's like if someone says to me, we're going somewhere new, a new place today, I'll be like, yeah, great. Shit. I don't know where that place is, who works there, what they're going to think of me. And I'm thinking, I shouldn't really give a shit what people think of me. As long as I'm not hurting no one, I'm not being put on myself to be loved and liked by everyone.
No.
Someone called me Marmite the other day, like, you either love Lee Glynn or you hate him. I'm like, well, people can hate me, but they won't have a valid reason to hate me. They just might not like me. My personality might not suit them, or I might not be the right fit for them. But so be it. So what? I'm not going to lose no sleep over that.
Yeah,
but
I think if you, I don't know, I'm definitely on the quadrant of never sitting on the fence, right? That's kind of my style growing up has always been, I had a lot of good mates, I had a lot of great relationships, but I'd always have a bit of animosity with certain people. I'm not argumentative for the sake of it. I'm not aggressive. I don't fight people, but I'm just not the guy that will sit there and just keep the peace for the sake of it. I'll have an opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's quite common in sales and leadership roles. But then it's challenging when you're trying to manage people with all different mindsets and personalities, because you don't always naturally gel with everyone. No. But as a really good leader, you've got to work out the best route. But I think when it comes to the branding side of things and your marketing message, it helps to have a bit of an opinion. Like I don't think anyone who's just vanilla on LinkedIn gets noticed. Like if you just like, even the people who are like, they're putting out posts like, would love your thoughts on this. I'm like, what you're doing is you're just asking questions and expecting people to put their opinions on a post that has no fucking opinion.
Your own opinion.
Put your own opinion on it. Like, at least if you say, I think this, what do you think? People will disagree. People agree. It gets engagement. But as a leader, people, not everyone. You're not there to be liked. You're there to drive it forward.
I think the rule I live by with work is if we've got an issue or there's a problem, I will come to the enemy front line and deal with it for you or with you. But when we're celebrating successes, I'll take a step back and you can celebrate it yourself.
Yeah.
Like you said, not everyone's here to be liked. As your organisation would know, you spend more time with your colleagues at work than your friends and family, and all you got in common is the carpet you walk on.
Yeah.
you know, not everyone's going to get on well, but as an adult, you've got to appreciate you're being paid to do a job, and you've got to get on with your colleagues, have mutual respect. You don't have to go and socialise with them outside of work, but just get on with them inside of work. And no matter what happens, you know, you have that courtesy, and you have that level of, you know, speak to someone with that courtesy and they will speak to you with courtesy back. And that's the way, that's the rule. Even if someone doesn't like me, I won't come down to their level.
No.
I'll still speak to them with respect, and give them the courtesy that they still deserve, because, like I said, it's not their fault that they don't like me, because
it ain't your fault. It ain't your fault.
No. Yeah.
What one thing I'm interested in, Lee, is your social media activity, right? So you, of all the people in recruitment I know, you know, I can count on one hand the amount of people that were making videos maybe 18 months ago. Now everyone's making videos, and I think, you know, I'd like to think I've contributed to that shift.
Yeah.
But you were one of the earliest I remember that was confident to talk about mental health, talk about the healthcare sector. You weren't just a shrinking violet. You were opening up online. Why did you start doing that? What made you start doing that?
Do you know what? I didn't want to. At the time, I didn't have not a lot of people to talk to. I could talk to my mum, talk to my close confidants, but I didn't have a lot of people that I could talk to. And I felt like when I get up in the morning, I speak to myself in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I speak to myself, and it feels like I'm talking to someone else. And I felt that helped me. So I thought, if there's a way I can deal with my mental health, like putting feelings down on paper, because it's coming out of your brain and coming out onto paper, or speaking to a camera, and then just pretending that's like I'm speaking to someone that's listening. And it really helped. So I don't want to become sort of an actor on camera, where I'm telling people about my feelings and I'm actually becoming that actor and showing you those feelings. I want to show genuine feelings. So when I'm on screen, they're my actual genuine feelings, like at the time where I can't cope. And if you can see me, if I'm like rubbing my eyes or wiping a tear, that's actual tears. It's not like I'm putting it on thinking of a sad film to make myself cry. And I want to show people it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay that you suffer. It's okay that if you've got anxiety and you can't do something for that day, it's okay. Or if you're depressed, if you're addicted to drugs, you're addicted to gambling, if you've got an addiction, it's okay. But as long as you take that first step, that's the hardest step. It's like a baby learning to walk. Do they give up when they fall down on their first step? No, they pick themselves up and carry on and fall down, carry on, fall down. You've got to take that first step to then take the next 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. If you don't take that first step for yourself, you're never going to be able to deal with it. And that's why.
So you made the steps. You didn't really, it doesn't sound like there was a huge strategy behind it. It was just, I want to talk, I'll put it on camera, I'll share it with the network. What's been the impact, though, to you and your business as a result of doing that? Because I think you've been pretty consistent over the last year or two.
Yeah, so the impact, one, I don't do it to get business. I do it because I want to help people, and especially on LinkedIn. I receive about 35, 40 messages a day thanking me and saying, this is how I feel, this is what I'm going through. And I'm like, that's all I wanted you to do, just to put it on a message. How do you feel now? Like, and then give them my advice on how I've dealt with it. Not a clinical advice, not qualified advice, just my advice on first hand. And there was no strategy to it. There was no strategy to it. It was just like, put it on LinkedIn, put it on social media. And then if someone reaches out, if it's one person, that's good enough for me, because I want them to show that you can be a businessman or a businesswoman, you can be a teacher, you can be a racing car driver, whatever. You can still, you're not kryptonite. You know, you're going to have something that's going to have an impact, and especially children as well. You know, we can't forget children. Children do suffer. No matter what people say, they're too young to suffer. No, they suffer, because I feel like if me not having a father, I think that had a huge impact on me.
Yeah,
a really big impact. So I think it's on everyone. Children's upbringing, they will remember. Children remember. No matter what people say, children remember. So they will come up to an adult and they will remember their child life, and it might put them into depression. It might put them that make them anxious because they've seen something as a child. But like I said to you, Sean, you just got to take that first step, because without me taking that first step and talking, I don't think I'd be it.
No,
I really would. I think I'd attempted it again. I think I most would have been successful. But things happen for a reason.
Well, you know what? You should be proud of yourself, because you're not only fighting that battle every day and being open about it, you're also managing people, you're building a business, you're contributing to the economy, you're helping back to people, younger people, and you for no agenda, you're giving out support to people. What LinkedIn's audience now is getting bigger and bigger, so it's
it's not Facebook no more, is it?
Well, it's definitely, but LinkedIn's becoming more like that. That people are sharing more than just work stuff. They're giving
absolutely, and I think it's right to do that. I think it is right to do that, because work is work, business is business, but personal life is business as well, because it affects you. So why not put it on? You know, you do get the LinkedIn police saying this ain't Facebook, you shouldn't belong here. Well, no, actually it should, because it's just showing people that if you work in this environment, it's okay if you're suffering, or you're putting a funny post on, because it cheers people up.
But if that was the case, if that was the case, no business would do corporate social responsibility, would they? They wouldn't invest in charities. They wouldn't talk about Black Lives Matter. They wouldn't talk about homophobia. We wouldn't talk about anything but fucking what we trade in. So
absolutely,
that's it's bullshit. And to me, all right, I get why we don't want. You don't necessarily go on LinkedIn to see memes of cats jumping out of trees like you might.
No, of course.
But people sharing that they've got kids and that they're struggling and they're doing this and they're doing that. I don't think, this is just my opinion, I don't think you can be a top performing professional in almost any market without being more of a person than just a professional. You have to be more of a person. You have to, just offer, even let's look at a doctor. You know this world better than me, but right? Yeah. I went to a doctor very recently, and this is partly why I've been battling with some stuff, right? I've had a health problem that I had a blood clot that formed in my back when I was running through this 75 hard, that they said there was a small chance it could be something serious, right? Now, I went to one doctor in the NHS. I rang that 111 number, and I went to the hospital in Essex. I went to King George's Hospital in Hainault way, Chadwell Heath. And I got this doctor who, I mean, I don't blame him. He's working on a Sunday. It's not a great glamorous job, but what a miserable bastard. Like, didn't want to talk to me, was just typing the whole time, didn't even look me in the eyes, turned around. When I showed him my lump, he was like, ooh. And he made me feel crap, right? He made me feel awful. Fast forward 2 weeks later, and I'm on a video call with a doctor at my GP. Young guy, similar background to me, was like, we're talking about where he's from, and all right, he's asking me the questions to diagnose me, but I just felt like I felt so relaxed.
You feel at ease.
I felt so relaxed around him, and I told him stuff I've not told anyone, and thankfully nothing was wrong. But that was a really tough couple of weeks, and that doctor being a person, not just an expert. He has to be a fucking expert. He can't get the job otherwise.
Yeah,
he was a person first, and I think that's what, to me, that's what the power of brand, social media, and that's what LinkedIn allows people to show. As long as you're not acting, as long as you're not, like you said before, as long as you're not trying to be someone you're not, that's absolutely when you'll fall down. But if you can say, this is me, this is what I'm about, this is what I do, and, be funny if you're funny, be serious if you're serious, be sad if you're sad, I think that's the way forward, personally.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you got to be honest in who you are and what you feel, because people will buy into that. People buy people. They don't buy from the businesses that you work for. They buy it from people, and they buy into that person. So if anyone's feeling that they shouldn't put a video on because they might be judged, don't feel like that. Put it on. Put it on. If you want to put your feelings out there, put it on. And that's why I've got a YouTube channel. I've not got many subscribers. I think I've got 90 subscribers. I don't do it for that. I just do it so the content's there. Yeah. If anyone wants to go on YouTube, they can just look at it and they can see the videos.
Yeah, I get it. Well, look, mate, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing more detail around what you've been up to. Because
thanks for the invite.
We get lots of little clips from you, and for me, I feel like I've learned a lot, and I feel better for it myself. If anyone wants to reach out, Lee, I know the answer already, but you'll be open to a chat, right?
Absolutely. Social media, so Instagram, Mr. Recruitment, Twitter, Mr. Recruitment, LinkedIn, Lee Glynn.
I'll tag you. I'll be tagging you on LinkedIn as a result of this, and obviously I'll give you all the content to share. But guys, if you're feeling a bit down, if you're feeling like there's challenges, whether it's speak to Lee, speak to me, speak to anyone, but speak to your family. But the best thing is don't leave it. Don't hide it. Don't bottle it up. And do get in touch with Lee if you feel like it'd be a benefit. Lee, thanks, mate. Keep in touch. Let's get you on again in the future and see how much the Reliable Healthcare Group's grown.
Lovely, Sean. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much, and have a good Friday tomorrow.
Yeah, you too. Right, guys, thank you so much for listening. This is The Rag is Back, season 3. You can already sense what's happening. We're gonna be getting under the bonnet of people's personal lives. We're going a bit deeper in this season. We're not just going to be talking recruitment. We're going to be getting under the bonnet of the humans that run these businesses and what the hell's going on in our lives, because running a business is fucking hard, but being a great person, being a father, a mother, a husband, a wife, we've got so many jobs. Hopefully through the show I can help connect people and share stories, and together we will build this industry and we'll get through it stronger. If you're enjoying the show, do me one favor. I don't ask for any money to listen, but please do pass it on to someone you think will benefit. Share it to a friend, a colleague, because that's why we do it. I'll be back again next week with another episode of the RAG podcast. In the meantime, stay safe. I'll see you soon.